Hi everyone, and welcome back. What we're going to be doing for the next few episodes is we're actually going to go back to doing poetry. And what we're going to do is we'll be exploring Salman ibn Gabirol, which um we mentioned him a few times during the Hanagid series, and that's because they were alive roughly in the same period, and they overlapped each other. But with Gabriel, we have to kind of deal with the fact that Gabriel, due to the fact that early on in his life he contracted a disease that put him in constant pain throughout his whole life, and to a certain extent, he also he was aware he wasn't a very likable person. He had an ego. He was sensitive to criticism. He he and Hanagid, they saw each other as peers, and in some instances, historians did think that they did were probably lovers for a short period, but for some reason, probably because of Gabriel, they they had a falling out, and by the time Gabriel was in his 40s, he died, and a lot of his contemporaries made it very clear how they felt about that. Which is kind of a shame because his views on religion, metaphysics, and his poetry in itself are quite good, and especially when it came to religion and metaphysics, he actually was in a lot of ways kind of leading the way for the more scholastics of the age of Aquinas, and so and for a long time he was probably more better known in actually the Christian realm than his own Jewish one. And it wasn't until recently, especially with being able to compile poetries to accessible forms, that the poetry of Hanagid and Gavriel were kind of able to be codified into accessible to a modern audience, and all this took a lot of time. So we have him, and that's probably one of the main reasons I kind of have this channel, is because if nothing else, even if I'm never going to be very popular, I do want people to have an interest in at least looking these people up, keeping their memory alive, and just appreciating the fact that we are in an age where reconstructing records is more achievable. Bringing people back is their memory back is, if not achievable, at least we can get a fraction of their legacy. So let's get started. The first poem we have is Truth Seeker's Turn. Truth seekers, turn to my poems, and you are ignorant. Learn. They'll teach you hidden wisdom and instruct you in all that's arcane. Don't fall for words that are empty and vain, but hold to these poems and you'll hold to faith. For the weak poem kills the soul of its author. While he's still alive, it dies. Where the excellent in memory endures, like the new moon, month by month in its rise. I'm Prince to the poem. I'm Prince to the poem, my slave. I'm harp to the court musicians. My song is a turban for viziers' heads, a crown for kings and their kingdoms. And here I live just 16 years, and my heart is like 80 within them. My words are driven. My words are driven by worry. My joy in sighing puts out. When I see others laughing, my heart splits. For my life as it slips away from me. Should a boy of 16 by sighing my friend, and mourning the day of his death, when he could be strong in his youth, with his cheek like a rose in the sun. From boyhood my heart has judged me, and so my soul has been bowed. And it placed understanding and learning across it, and kept my soul a long wrath. What good does anxiousness to you? Be patient, your wound will heal. You moan inside your trouble in vain. What help could you bring with your tears? But why should I wait, and how long can I hope, when the day is full and the end is far? And no one in Gilead knows of balm for the pain of plague-stricken man. Forget about if and maybe. Forget about if and maybe and listen instead to me. And don't go reaching for hope and know that time is stingy. Thus the world rebukes me, envying me and my song. Carping is seeking to show me the future for which my enemies long. I always laughed in fate's face, though now it's laughter facing me. But why should I fear what it brings when it offers me verses daily? For I am indeed a soul that moves man in creation, and I must fear as well, it's true. The planets circle through me, and the world is like my chariot. My train fills it completely, evil will never enter my heart, never cross its threshold, and so I won't complain. And yet, if I do complain, know thou weep and moan for wisdom's distance alone, and so I won't rejoice. But if I do rejoice, the cause of my joy will be only an excellent friend. A fire burns within me. It glows as though in my heart to offer him, I swear. Let God here be my witness. My sole portion and honor, and not begrudge his success, and to see my enemy trampled, like dust beneath my feet, to place him before me as though beneath my soul and heel, to make him a mark for my mouth's arrows and fuel for my fire's meal. Prologue to the Book of Grammar. A poem of glory and power I'll offer my Maker, who set the heavens on high with his span, because he created the language and mouth of man, and gave them the crown of honor and splendor, causing their growth in knowledge of joy. The Lord works in the world and the world to come. Declared the Spaniard solemn ben Judah the Small, who called for his people the holy tongue. Examined the Lord's congregation with all my soul. I saw the exiled remnant escaped, found among them the sacred speech destroyed, almost wholly in ruins or erased, given over to language distant from Hebrew, and utterly strange to the lips of the Jews, half of whom speak the manner of Edom, and half with the darkening tongue of Kedah. In their hopelessness drowning, engulfed by the deepening whirl, and their ignorance sinking within it like stone. Joining pain for my people to pain through my bones, trapped like a fire burning inside me, knowing the foolish were lost in their groaning, I moaned, and my heart like a harp, or the harp like sea, lacking all vision, living far from their law. They couldn't fathom the simplest inscription, my lord, who could save the blind in their drowning, who could bring their ship into port. Now that your eyes are clear, my heart spoke out. You see that your people are lost. Only you can guide them. Give voice to mouths gone mute, surely the Lord will reward you. Pushed, I cowered, seeing that I was still young and easily given to anger and fury. Reason in youth is dismissed categorically. What can a boy of 19 really do? So said my heart when a dream like a secret came through me. I heard a voice from the city call me, taunting my spirit during the night as it told me, the hand of the Lord will surely strengthen you. Under your burden your youth doesn't excuse you. It isn't the elders who hold up the kingdom. Viewing this image, my confidence grew. I knew very well in my heart what the Lord wanted, and set my mind to make of this treatise a zist as fine as my hand was able, yearning to forge through this book of our grammar a zone of repair for the language of Cain. My condition worsened. My condition worsened and worsened my grief, and in its wake my strength waned. But then your letter arrived with its call, and its pleasures eased my pain. So I'm writing you not with news of my illness, but to ask instead a friend's forgiveness, because I haven't been able to visit. I swear I'll come if I have to crawl, for I know that the minute I see your face, I'll be healed as my grief withdraws. All my desire. All my desire and hope is with you. I long just for your company. My stomach churns and I moan for you, who drives my sleep away from me, as though you alone could cure me. If in my illness you visit, if ever my heart thought to betray you, my anger would rise up against it. If only my heart in its chest were glass, you see my love within it. The Apple 1. Take, my Lord, this sweetness in hand, and forget about all of your longing. It's blushing like a bride on both sides, as her breasts are first caressed by her husband. She's an orphan and has neither father nor sister, and she's far from her home and kin. Her friends envy her going the day she was stripped from her branch and cried, bring greeting to Isaac, your Lord. Bless you, soon you'll be kissing his lips. The Rose. With the rose blush of your cheeks like shields, you are like a hero or soldier, and with your arrows and spear which pierce me in pain, all night I wander. What would atone for your servant's transgression? Could I offer a bull or slaughter a lamb? See the sun. See the sun gone red towards evening, as though it were a crimson dress, stripping the edges of north and south, and in violent lining the wind from the west. And the earth left in its nakedness takes refuge in the shadow of night and rests. And then the skies go black as though covered in sackcloth, for Yugtiel's death. They asked me as though they were mystified. They asked me as though they were mystified. Is it true your friend's hands are like clouds? And I told them they were tied for being too open, and for goodness of heart of hunger, he died. And this is probably a good stopping point. I hope you have enjoyed this reading and have a good rest of your week.